For tuning into another segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright, presented by First Star Logistics. Daniel, I have a question for you to
Let
start
me
this segment off. Is Tyrod Taylor the best option for the New York Football Giants to start a quarterback? The reason, before you answer that question, let me just tell you why I'm asking you that question. Because that was the best quarterback play we've seen the Giants have over the span of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot, right? The fact that he got 200 yards against the Bills, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The key is not turning the football over, giving the team a chance to win, because the Giants were in it to the end against the Buffalo Bills, was able to put together a sustainable offense. And then the next week, 62 completion percentage, whatever, 279 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 116.9 quarterback rating. Is Tyrod Taylor the answer for the New York Football Giants this season? What say you?
1000% he is the answer for the Giants this season. It is a tough conversation when you're looking at the Giants organization because you're caught between a rock and a hard place. If you go with Tyrod Taylor, you're saying, hey, our decision to pay Daniel Jones all that money, we're looking like idiots, right? Because we paid him all that money. Versus, do you want to put your team in the best position to win now? Let me just talk about winning now, right? Winning this season, they are two completely different quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor gives you the best option. Why, right? Daniel Jones, I'm not going to say is scared to play the quarterback position, but last year gave him a false sense narrative for me because it showed him, hey, if he can play safe, if he cannot turn the ball over, the Giants can win games. That's not how you win in the National Football League. You win by taking chances. And for me, when I was watching them this past Sunday, that's the difference. Tyrod Taylor took chances. Brian Dable trusted him to take chances, and that's not what you get with Daniel Jones. With Daniel Jones, you try to put him in a box so he doesn't have the fumbling issues. You try to put him in a box so he doesn't have those interception issues. With Daniel Jones, you have to let him go, let him run, but with that comes interceptions, comes fumbles. So this season, Tyrod Taylor, look at what he just did. 2 deep balls to Jalen Hyatt. They actually took chances, right? What do you know? You throw the ball to your top pick, and it works. Tyrod Taylor takes chances, and he also can run an offense methodically, right? That's how their offense was rolling. Don't get it twisted, though. Saquon Barkley did help a lot, but Tyrod Taylor is a veteran. Tyrod Taylor gives them the best chance to win now. With that being said, I do think that they've got to look themselves in the mirror, and I think they need to draft a quarterback or trade for one this offseason. That's what I'm doing personally. Draft a quarterback, trade for one, but Tyrod should start the rest of this season.
I like the point that you made, especially when you think about the issues Daniel Jones is dealing with in terms of the neck injuries, which are pretty serious, obviously, right? But when you think about it, man, I look at just the way Tyrod Taylor was able to move the offense on the football field. My fantasy football team wants to specifically thank you, Tyrod Taylor, because for some reason, a guy that the Giants traded for and Darren Waller finally was able to get active this week. Now, he had a couple of spotty performances with Daniel Jones. We know he had the 86 yards, 8 catches against the Dolphins. He had the 76 yards against the Cardinals in a comeback victory, yada, yada, yada. But when I look at it, he was able to get Darren Waller involved. He was able to put out a sufficient offense and move the ball down the field. And no one should be shocked. Tyrod Taylor's been doing this his entire career.
Yep.
He's been doing this his entire career, right? No matter where Tyrod Taylor's been, he's been consistent for the most part. He's not a franchise quarterback. He is a bridge quarterback. He is the perennial bridge quarterback that you bring in. So to me, I think the Giants should be kicking themselves. And I think that most teams, the worst thing you could do is know what you have and then, still continue to do the same thing over and over again. The Giants know what they have in Daniel Jones. The Giants know that they can't win with Daniel Jones. I'm talking about big time. You can win against the Commanders. You can win against the Cardinals. You can win against the Titans. You can win against teams that are meh. But when we talk about those serious teams, you can even beat the Vikings with Daniel Jones, right? Because though that's a team that's very unserious till they get a real quarterback. But when you talk about championships, when we're talking about winning the division, when you talk about going up against the likes of the juggernaut Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys on their best day, the Commanders when they want to be, you're not confident Daniel Jones can go out there and put a sustainable winner on the football field. You're not confident. I wouldn't be confident in that. Nobody should be confident in that. So when I say with the utmost respect that Tyrod Taylor gives them the best chance to win, it's with merit. It's not without merit. It's with merit. You know what you have in Daniel Jones for the rest of the way. And for me, I understand the Giants tie themselves to Jones with the contract, so on and so forth. But I think this is probably where you need to swallow your pride, right? This is where you have to, we talk about ego checking yourself. This is probably where the Giants have to ego check themselves and be like, you know what? It was a mistake. It was a mistake. They were a fool of fool's gold. Daniel Jones had an unlike season last year. He even had me sipping the Kool-Aid. You go back on the YouTube videos, I said the Giants going to. I think that the Giants taking this next step is also very real. And wrong. Not the first time, be wrong. Not the last time, be wrong. I'll be wrong again. It's okay. It comes with the business. The fact of the matter is, the Giants have to get from up under themselves.
Yeah.
And Tyrod Taylor, if the Giants want to potentially compete for a wild card spot, right? Because it would be a letdown if the Giants got to the playoff, went to the playoffs last year and then completely did nothing this year.
Yeah.
You know what? It'll be very similar to what Ben McAdoo did when he was the coach of the Giants. That first year, took the Giants to the playoffs. Then they had that infamous boat picture of Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham with their shirts off on a boat. With Victor Cruz was there. And then the Giants haven't sniffed the playoffs since last year. Now, you have the ability to not let history repeat itself. You know Daniel Jones isn't the answer.
Yep.
Tyrod Taylor isn't the answer long-term, but he's the answer short-term. Guess what? Couple more is we already in week, what is this, week 7, week 8?
Week 8.
This is week 8 coming up. This is the short term. The rest of the season will be considered the short term. So Giants, do yourselves a favor. Dave Gettleman is no longer general manager.
Yeah.
Right? He's Dave Gettleman is no longer your general manager. Let's not keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Do yourselves a favor. Get it from up under this Daniel Jones contract, however that looks like, whether you got to eat dead cap, whatever the case may be. Do get from up under yourselves and realize that at least for the remainder of this year, I think the entire offense will feel much better if Tyrod Taylor was the starter the rest of the way. Because guess what? Tyrod Taylor can do everything that Daniel Jones can do, in my opinion. He can do everything. Daniel Jones probably throws a better deep ball. But when we talk about the running ability, right?
Tyrod can do it.
Yeah. He can do it. And the one thing I look about Tyrod is he has the ability to run the ball, but he doesn't, is not a run-first quarterback. I would say Daniel Jones more run-first than Tyrod Taylor is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that he gives them a different element to this team, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, so there's 2 last things I want to talk about real quick. I'd be very curious. I want to see if Joe Schoen, he's the new GM. He came with Brian Dable. I want to see, I forgot if they were the ones that re-signed Daniel Jones. If they were, that's a little questionable. But I want to see, let me list some names for you real quick, because there's 2 options, right? I mean, 3. You got roll with Daniel Jones, you draft a quarterback, or you look in the NFL. Let me list some names for you real quick. There's Kirk Cousins, there's Baker Mayfield, there's Josh Dobbs, and that's it. Those are your 3 free agent quarterbacks this upcoming season where I could say, hey, if you want a different quarterback, if you want a quarterback that can start for you, those are the 3 names. Josh Dobbs is fine. He's better than Tyrod. I think Josh Dobbs can potentially do what Daniel Jones does and better. Kirk Cousins isn't really the mold that Brian Dable wants. And Baker Mayfield, I don't know if the Buccaneers are going to draft the quarterback, but those are 3 quarterbacks where I can look at it if you're a Giants fan and say, hey, we don't want Daniel Jones. We want something different. But, man, let me just say, I think Joe Schoen, he's the one that re-signed Daniel Jones. I think he messed up big time. And that was his first real move as Giants GM. So right now, you've got to cut your losses because now you got time. This is your chance, because if you keep going 2-3 years down the road, people are going to be like, you were a waste as a GM. And we'll see what happens. But you don't want to ruin Brian Dable's tenure, because he's a damn good coach. So give him a good quarterback. That's not Daniel Jones.
Yep. If you like more video content like this, do us a huge favor. Give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live from the First Star Logistics Studio. And also let us know down in the comment section what you guys would do if you were the Giants general manager.